So, ladies and gentlemen, fanboys and girls, nerds, weeds, and otaku, welcome back and welcome home.
Well, hello there, Applebites. This is your Applebite Written Writ Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ. A show where you and I and you will get creative, have fun, and geek out. It is time to talk to the plethora of people that are here today. You have Eddie, Jorge, and Rebecca. We're about to geek out, have fun, and tell the people a bunch of things that they need to hear.
Yes, like that tomorrow's Turkey Day, and we're all ready for it.
That's
right?
why I picked that specific song for the trailer.
Yes. You're getting our stomach acids ready, Ralph. We're ready. Got my extra stretchy pants ready. My been doing my stomach exercises all night. So yeah, I'm getting ready for tomorrow.
Been stretching out that
favorite holiday.
We got all gobble the food, man.
Love it.
So Eddie, you got 30 minutes left on your Kickstarter. Why don't you tell the people all about it?
Time is ticking, Ralph. Now I'm nervous. I'm going to lose all my nails. Look at that.
1981.
24 minutes. Wow, 1981. Oh my goodness, look at that. So we were talking backstage, everyone, that that I'm 2,000 away from my goal. This is my first ever Kickstarter, and with 24 minutes left, can we reach 2,000? Oh my gosh, never thought. And what's cool is that if we do reach 2,000, I do have a 5x7 of the cover poster that you see here, and without the logo. It's just the actual cover photo of Zed actually running through the city. So yes, who is Zed? Zed is a robot who crash lands in the middle of the South Bronx in 1982. Which, if anyone remembers that time, especially in the city, was a really crazy time for New York City, right? You had the beginning of the birth of the crack epidemic, which was a super big no-no. But then you also had the beginnings of the birth of hip-hop, which was super positive, really brought in new music, brought in new fashion, right? And brought in new art. So this is the backdrop of Zed. He lands in here. He's got no memory, badly damaged, and he has to go through this to kind of find out what his purpose is, and ultimately he'll find out his origins and things like that. So it's a great story. It's my first ever comic, helped develop with my team of artists. I'm an artist, but not a sequential artist, so I needed a team to help me with it. And a lot of it comes from my background in graffiti art, my background of living and loving New York City. And it's a great story. I've already gotten back to sample prints of it. It looks amazing. And so what an experience, this Kickstarter, I tell you. And I was talking to George about this, right, George? You guys are experienced. You guys kind of went through the ups and downs, and boy, did I feel the ups and downs on this one.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster of emotions. Trust me.
I did, George. You are right. My goodness, and thank goodness for Ralph here. Ralph talked me off the bridge a couple of times. The biggest one is when I said, what, Ralph, I don't think this comic's going to do well. And he goes, well, why? I go, because this is basically people are going to think this is Wild Robot, And Ralph looked at me, and that smile of his, that's not the case, Eddie. This isn't Wild Robot. What this is, though, this is Wild Robot meets the Warriors. So if you know what the Warriors is about, it takes place all in one night. It's the same feeling that I was going for here. So yes, dive in, please, if you want to. Buy the digital PDF, or you can get the physical copy. I have two copies, one the regular cover as well as the graffiti art cover. I had an artist called Harrow work on that from LA. He's amazing, but actually originally from New York. And I created the End of Zed graffiti logo because I am a graffiti artist. So, and here goes a couple of the packages. I wanted to keep it simple, with some stickers, some hologram stickers too. So excited to give those away. I sold a lot of those. And the biggest one, someone was going to come through with it after the retail bundle set, which someone bought, which I really appreciated. And they're actually buying more of that. They're going to buy more of the actual variant cover. But this $250, this was the big thing that someone was supposed to buy. So maybe he's going to get on this show and do it now, Ralph. 23 minutes left.
I was going to ask you about that because I was like, no. That would have been a big shoot up. You've had a good shoot up this week, but that would have been a big shoot up.
Yes, that would have been that would have took me to the 2000 range, So. Mm-hmm. Me, you, George, Rebecca, we're all going to put the squeeze on the dude. If we don't hear from him within the next 5-10 minutes, we have to bring in the muscle, bring in the muscle. Because he said he was going to do it, So we'll see. We'll see at the last minute if he does. But
it'll be live by the time your campaign funds.
Yes.
So
okay.
Fireworks.
There you go. Exactly. Hello, everyone. Hey, how you doing?
He's home drinking, getting ready for Thanksgiving.
I hear that.
Oh, he's home from drinking after he was hanging out with his coworkers.
Nice. Early Thanksgiving celebration.
Yeah.
Dude, man, this is amazing, and I gotta show off the video because you just did a great job on this.
I don't think we have time. We've got 20 minutes left now.
We got time.
My name is Eddie Lima, and I'm the creator of End of Zed, a project I've been working on for years. The story follows a robot who crash lands in the Bronx in 1982, severely damaged and with no memory, as he navigates one of the city's most turbulent times, shaped by the rise of the crack epidemic. He also discovers the powerful, positive force of hip-hop.
Where am I? Party people, are we ready? 3, 2, 1.
End of Zed isn't just another comic. It fuses the rebellious energy of New York City with a gripping dystopian narrative. This story delivers visually striking action and powerful themes. If you're into bold, unapologetic storytelling, then the End of Zed is for you. By backing this project, you're not only helping bring Zed's story to life, but you'll gain access to exclusive rewards. I can't wait for all of you to experience Zed's world. Back my project today and become part of this amazing journey.
Man, they just makes me want the cartoon right now.
Is this a campaign for a comic book or for the animated series?
Dude, see?
Yes.
Oh, super cool.
Yes, appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that was part of my media team. Matt in particular, Matt Seeger, who actually created that. Yeah, created it from the comic book. So I appreciate that, George. Really. I do. It's been some journey, I got to tell you. First ever experience with everything, being a creator, being on Kickstarter, and one of my biggest champions has always been Ralph. And so, Ralph, take out the tissues because here it comes. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. I really appreciate it. The support you've given me has been tremendous. I feel as though I made a friend, and hopefully you feel the same way. And if you don't say it till after the show. Don't say it now. I want you to break my heart, But really, Ralph, I really appreciate everything you've done, man. You've always been super supportive.
Oh, you think you're getting away? That's how I got mad at, I brought her on the show. She was doing her Kickstarter, and then I was like, come back on.
Yes. And you actually might be there when I have my first drink, so remember that. We're talking about that too in the green room,
Oh my God.
Thank you, everyone. Really, thanks for everything. Really, I really appreciate it, Ralph.
Folks, we got 18 minutes left. One of my favorite numbers. You got 76 backers. 1981. Is $19 away from 2,000, where you get the beautiful stretch goal. Come on, folks. Somebody get $19 out there. $19.
Do you want to show them the stretch goal, Ralph?
I'll
it's on the bottom if you could. Yeah, it's on the bottom, so it won't take long to get to. And so it's basically the cover, and the cover's really everything. I mean, when I first thought of the story, I knew that Zed was running against a lot of things, and particularly he was running against time. So that's why the cover was so significant. You know what I mean? The cover, I wanted it to represent that, he is running against time, but also too, where is he running from? Well, if you look at the sneakers up there, he's in an urban area. And if you're from the Bronx, you probably know even more what that means. We were talking about that the other week, right, Ralph?
Exactly.
What does the sneakers on the wire means? Which the different neighborhoods means different things, you know. So yeah, if we reach the 2,000 goal, everyone gets this actual 5x7 poster, and then we've made
These
it.
are cool, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, you did a great job with this. It just stands out. It asks for more.
Yes. Yes, appreciate it. Yep, and we have a lot of story to tell. So this is a good setup for what he is. He comes down here. He's got a computer, like a CPU in him, that kind of defines what he sees around him. You know, so he'll see, for example, unfortunately, he'll see like a drug dealer. That's one of his first interactions with a human, and the computer will go over the drug dealer, the drug user, and will go, this is a human being. They're the dominant species on the planet. You know, they're the masters of this universe. And he's looking like, are you sure about that? And then he sees a drug deal go down, and he sees, you know, money being exchanged for crack. And so the computer goes on the money and on the cash and goes, this is currency. This is used for trading. This is used for, you know, building things. And then it'll go to the crack veil, and the computer says this is used to take humans to another state. It causes all this crime. It causes all health issues. And then Zed sees that, and he goes, oh my gosh, how could a human sell this to another human? And so he's with his blank program, as he's going through time, he is learning about this world. And ultimately, he's going to have to make some decisions based on whether he thinks we're worthy as humans to be on here. And so we'll see if he makes the right decision or not, you know. So it's a good setup. It's a good setup.
That sounds a little ominous.
Okay, I know. I don't want to give away too much, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, folks, it's incredible. He's really put together a pretty good story, as you can tell. And he's been trying not to give too much away, but he's so excited about it. Every once in a while, he lets something slip.
Exactly. So it just can't help to do it. Can't help to do it sometimes, you know. But we'll get there. It's going to be great, though, once this is out. Once this is over in the next 18 minutes, is that, you know, I can finally show a lot more of the images, talk a lot more about it, you know.
I know you were excited when you got the copy you got.
Yes, yep. And that was exciting. Can I show everyone? Let me show everyone.
Yeah,
here we go. Because boy, when this came, it was like the birth of another kid of mine. So here we go. It's great quality, you know. I love the cover of how it's like, and then super glossy. And then here you go. I love the way the colors pop off, particularly around the nighttime of it, you know.
No,
what printer did you use?
Maxim.
Okay.
Maxim, yeah, because there was another comic that I liked out there, George, and I asked to do what he used, and he said Maxim, and then I said I have to use that for mine too, you know. This was the scene I was telling you about, the human and when he sees him and stuff, you know. And what's interesting is that he lands in this desolate area, you know. And when I first gave people and told them about the story, a lot of them criticized me, you know, Eddie, how could he land in the middle of New York City and no one noticed him? Well, the South Bronx was like that at that time, you know, in particular Charlotte Avenue, you know. And so he follows he follows this person that he's just seen take drugs, and because his vision's not at 100%, they kind of look like zombies to him, especially the way they're like feeding on the drugs, you know. So it's like, oh, what's that? And then he hears something, and then because of his vision, he can't see well. He sees like a 3-headed dog. He's like, wow, what is that? You know, threat detected. It's chasing him. It's chasing him down the street. This 3-headed dog, and then when it comes out into the light, it's actually 3 dogs, and it's showing that, you know, this is that his vision isn't correct. So now he gets ripped apart. Oh my gosh, what an introduction to this world. And then the lights shine off from across the street. And then, yes, he's in, it says there, it reveals to everyone that he's in the South Bronx. And I don't mind showing people this because this is actually the first 5 pages that I let people get of the comic, you know. And then yeah, that bright light, what was it? Well, it was actually, he's looking here, right? And he's like, wow, where am I? What is this place? He sees these silhouettes, right? And then he sees this silhouette here. Looks like a helmet. And he goes, wow, okay, I understand why I'm here. I got to rescue this fellow robot here. But when it comes back, it's not a robot. It's not a helmet. It's actually a DJ with a giant afro that looks like his helmet, you know? And that's actually a DJ. And then the party starts. And then this is significant because remember, he's broken. And the things that he finds on Earth are actually what's going to heal him. And so that's what it is. Appreciate that, pal. So these are the things that are going to heal him. Music, hip-hop music, and then of course graffiti will help his vision to kind of see better. A lot of me's in the story, Ralph. A lot of me's in the story. A lot of things.
That's what makes it good writing, because that's what we do as writers. We put a lot of ourselves into characters, and then we sit there and people go, "Wait a minute."
Right, this came from somewhere. They say, well, they tell you write what you know, right? Write what you know.
That's what we do. We write what we know, you know.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel like a lot of people take that and go the wrong way with it. You know, they think that you're supposed to just write what you know, but it means write what you know, write what you've learned, write what you've researched, write what you do. You know,
I see.
all that stuff put together. You know, it's not just write what you know, because that would be kind of boring. Because then that means even if you learn something, you know.
I see. Gotcha. That's a good point. I never looked at it that way, Rob. Okay, I hear you, man.
And it makes total sense because what do writers do? Research. We research. We do a lot of research, and that's because we need to know what we're writing.
Right, of course. You don't know it. Excellent. Well,
Jorge, why don't we talk about what you're doing a little bit? Give everybody the spiel. Let's share. Let's see what happens to End of Zed while we continue the show. Go for it.
Okay, so like I said earlier, my name is Jorge, doesn't matter how you pronounce it. We're talking about Exodus Z. Exodus Z is basically the zombie apocalypse reaching the gates of heaven. Right now, we are doing the campaign for issue 2. Issue 1 was basically how we get the actual zombie apocalypse itself reaching the gates of heaven, and then issue 2 is just gore and action. It's just the angels fending them off, just fighting it off, trying to figure out what's going on, and then things just go from bad to worse. It's not all hell breaks loose because hell is its own realm, but it's basically pure chaos of the angels just trying to fight them off, clean out their sanctuary from this darkness that's in there. The creative team, I'm the writer creator. John Epple is my artist inker. Edgar Wolf is the colorist, and Nikki Powers is the letterer. We have 4 covers in total. The first cover would be the standard cover, which is done by the artist himself, John Epple. The second cover, which will show up shortly, would be okay. So there we go. That's the first cover for issue 1. For issue 2, the standard cover. It's John Epple, the inks, lines and inks, and Edgar Wolf, the colorist. For issue 2, for cover B is actually an homage cover of Swamp Thing number 5. That one's done by John Psychokatsis. He's from New York, and the colorist is also Edgar Wolf on that one. We have 2 more covers after that. This one is by Pierce Hazel. He's from the UK. Now that's Pure Markers, by the way. Pure Markers, very cool cover, very different. Issue and the final cover D is by Mez Magnificent, also done with markers. I think all 4 covers were traditionally drawn, traditionally inked. The only difference is that the first 2 were digitally colored, and the second 2 were traditionally colored. All 4 covers are available. We have a couple of rewards that are going on. We have the first issue. Obviously, you could get the first issue digitally. You could also get the standard cover physically, which comes whichever tier you get, it's going to be the digital copy of issue 1 and issue 2. So that's a good way for anybody that's new into it that just wants to check it out digitally. They could grab it and they could be able to read both stories. Excuse me. There's also the issue 2 plus the variants, and then there's a catch up, which is issue 1 and issue 2. I know that's a lot of writing there, but not short. There's different add-ons. There's different reward tiers. There's a $50 reward tier that comes with 1 of each cover, and then there's the collector's edition that comes with 2 of each cover plus some extra goodies, including that magnet right there, right on top in the very top. That magnet I think is 4x6. So it's like the size of the best comparison I could always say, because since I'm down here in Florida, is the annual pass holder magnets for Disney. It's the exact same size. So it's a pretty big magnet. That hat is actually the hat I'm wearing right now. We partnered up with Wamstand, which they do. I don't have
Wamstand.
Yeah, Wamstand is awesome. Matt's an amazing dude. Every single one of my campaigns, he sneaks up in there, and he's printed, I think, 1 of each of his colors at this point when it comes to that. super cool.
Oh,
And
amazing!
I recommend you checking
Beautiful
that
stuff. Yeah.
because he 3D prints these stands, and
Mhm.
then within the stand there's a magnet, and then he creates the emblem of the logo of your book, and in there's a magnet, so you're able to swap the front part with different books. So he has like the basic Marvel DC stuff, and then he has a whole bunch that are indie as well. Very cool stand. Very it's not hollow on the inside, so it's sturdy as a rock.
Oh, it's really sturdy.
That
Yeah.
thing it's for you to try to tip one of those things over or try to crack one of those, it takes a lot of force.
Yeah.
So we have that. We have the WAM stands available for the campaign as well. We put it as an add-on instead of having it as its own tier. And then if you go a little lower, you can see a brand new shirt that we just started producing, which is actually the one that I'm wearing right now. It's just the logo of Comic Unknown, which that's the name I go under. So we have those available as well. But for the most part, Exit to Z is going to be a 3-issue miniseries. Issue 1 was called What on Earth? Issue 2, which is the campaign 4, is called For Heaven's Sake. And issue 3 is going to be called Oh Hell No. So you can kind of figure out the direction we're going with. Nobody's safe. Everything is possible. We have some crazy ideas that are happening within the story. And we also have something that's called the Digital Deluxe. We teamed up with a couple different creators that they helped us with it. And basically, if you reach a specific tier or you pay a specific amount or above, you get all these books for free digitally added to your backing. So if you, let's say you picked up 2 of the covers, which is already more than $20, automatically you get all those books as well. We have a whole bunch of different stretch goals. We have backer goals, we have funding goal, and we have one that I thought was a fun little thing. It's comment goals. I was trying to figure out how to outsmart the Kickstarter algorithm. So I was like, maybe if we do a lot of comments in there, and it's not just me commenting.
That's a good idea.
Right,
Dude,
right. That's awesome.
out. We unlocked the first one, which the 10 comments, excluding mine because I keep answering everybody else. Excluding my comments, it's basically what's up, Saint?
Son of Saint.
10 comments. And we unlocked something. So the first one was from Henry Pardo. He's also from the New York area. He did a mini print. And you can see there's one for 20 comments, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's literally anybody that backs, they just leave a simple comment and it counts. And I think we're at like 14, 15. It's freebies. Like if you guys want freebies and you guys already backed the campaign, you just might as well just place a comment. It's really simple.
Son of Saint says having a Son of Saint cover instantly puts you at the top. Just saying.
Yeah,
There you go.
nah, Saint's a cool dude. I co-wrote another story, which we're gonna do a Kickstarter campaign in about 2 months called Gaia Succession, and he is actually the cover artist for the standard cover. It's super dope. I'll probably bug you later one of these days to see if we could get back on. We could talk about that one.
Oh yeah, well he knows. Gaia Succession knows he can come back. I think he already was talking to me.
Yeah, he tried to do the campaign the first time, and it didn't work out with him. And then I had basically guided him how to do the campaign back in the day, and he just wanted more help. And I told him, yeah, I'll definitely help him with the campaign. I was already a co-writer to start with, and we're gonna add extra things to the ending of the book. The book is basically done, so it's just gonna be adding like the gallery, a thank you page, and some other goodies, mini print stickers, etc., etc. But definitely, I think we'll definitely have to return for that. But with the stretch goals, there's a little bit of everything. And after the stretch goals, we have this thing that I try to introduce. I try to reach out to the international community. So anybody that actually does a backing that's from an international, I understand shipping it's not to use a derogatory term. It's a pain and it's expensive. So if you were to scroll down, you'd see it. Anybody that gets the book that's international, to offset some of the shipping costs, we upgrade them to the next tier. So if they back
nice.
2 books, they get 3. If they get 3 books, they get the Unheavenly bundle. And we also have 2 crossover events. The first one is with C.O. Zeno. He did a book called Drunk Mom. So if anybody backs his book and our book as well, and we both hit funding goal, which he has already hit funding goal. So now the pressure's all on me. Anybody that backed both books will get that mini print for free. So it's a crossover with his characters in the center, bumping into My Zombies from issue 1. And we also have another one that's with Dwayne Doherty. He goes by Writer Show. That's for his story, Blood Sable. If you were to go a little lower, you'll be able to see it there. And it's his character going with one of the angels of heaven, fighting off the zombies at the gates of heaven. So same thing. If somebody were to back Blood Sable along with Exit of Z issue 2, they get that mini print for free. Right now, each mini print are 5x7s for the most part. And depending on if we continue with stretch goals after we hit funding, we could do like upgrades to the sizing of them, things like that. That's the printer that I use. I've considered using Mixam as well, but for the most part, I've been using Comics Wellspring for the 3 of my campaigns. And that's page 1 of Exit of Z issue 2. There's a couple preview pages in there. I didn't put too many because right off the bat, things start occurring. So I had to skip a couple pages here and there because I just didn't want to ruin the story because there's an important thing that occurs, I think, by page 3 or page 7, things like that. So I just did like page 1, page 4, and page 7, for example. I'm really throwing numbers out there at the moment. But right now we are, I want to say 68% funded. So we are 18 and change right now. We are, I want to say, less than $20 shy of 1,900. The funding goal is $2,750, and we have 13 days left for the campaign. So we already hit that middle of campaign plateau where it just dies out for a little bit.
Yeah.
So now we're just trying to kick it back in and just knock it out at that point because, man, that little plateau in the middle of the campaign, it's so dreadful. And it's so slow with it. It's just like, what's happening? But it always it's happened to every single one of my campaigns. So I know it's normal, but it still beats me up mentally. And I'm just like, okay, once I get over this lump, it always happens. I never understand why, but I know it always happens.
It's better when it happens after you fund because then you're like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
Before you fund, you're like, come on, people. Come on, we're so good.
I did a very silly video where I did my voice raspy. I hate it because it's so corny, but I've already checked it, and people have at least in the campaign. You know, it tells you how many times it's been fully viewed from start to finish, and it's like at 50 something, and I'm just like,
you got to do it again now.
So if you guys want to play it, go for it. It gives you a little. It's basically what you saw right now. Yeah, it's basically what you saw right now. But yeah, you could hear me acting like an idiot.
And let's go to the videotape.
Yes.
Let's go to the videotape.
Well, hello there, fleshies. It's your favorite undead buddy here to talk to you about Exit of Z issue 2. For heaven's sake, let me tell you, this was going to be a real gut buster. Our angel pals are in for it now. They've got no choice but to fend off the relentless zombie plague. Talk about a holy mess, am I right? We're bringing back the same talented humans from the first issue to keep things flowing smoothly. Kudos to them. And guess what? We're adding not one, but 2 new cover artists, Pierce Hazel and Les Magnificent. They'll be bringing some eye-popping covers, with our angels fighting back against the horse Jury. We're aiming for a modest $2,750 to cover printing, shipping, and ensuring a high-quality product, because I don't want to hunt any poorly made comics. Your support doesn't just bring the project to life. It helps expand the Exodus universe. Join us on this epic journey. Your contribution becomes part of our legacy, and we're just dying to have you with us. So back issue 2, and let us keep this undead party going.
I love it, man. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
But-
it's super silly. It's super
But
silly.
no, it's great. It
Yeah,
fits
it's
the
great.
tone, man. Nah.
Yeah,
What, was
so
your throat hurting though
it
after
matches
doing
the
it though?
tone, yeah, because it's a story that while it is horror based, it's not something to take itself 100% serious on it, because we get ridiculous with it. At the end of the day, it's zombies in heaven. Like there's nothing. Like it's gonna be gory, it's gonna be crazy, but at the same time, it makes fun of itself almost. You know.
Well, I tell you,
So-
you assembled a great team, George, because I know I was on with Apple before, and everyone that's on
Yeah.
this project is very passionate about it. That's why I backed it. I mean, everyone is just like so, passionate about bringing forth what it was truly like a team effort. At least it felt it every time I met a different person on your team do it. And by the way, the logo is amazing. I love the Exodus logo with the arms and the love
yeah,
it.
well, first of
Who
all,
thought
thank
of
you for
that?
backing. Yeah, like obviously this is the first time I get to actually speak to you, so I'm happy that I have a backer here with me while I'm
Yes.
speaking about it.
Yes.
But it's been very cool. It's been very crazy. It started off with the whole thing with Comic Unknown as a review blog back then on Blogspot. I think it's called Blogger now, and that's how I started learning the whole indie
Cool.
indie scene and whatnot.
Mhm.
And I met each creator on their own separate terms and their own separate moments, and it's just this is my first baby, Oh, definitely, Eddie. You know how I feel at this point.
Sure.
So it was a lot for me in the beginning, and even I have moments now that while there's moments that I look like I'm pretty much outgoing, man, if I somehow just get in my shell and I just lock up, I just get so nervous,
Sure.
and then I just start freezing up on everything. But I learned to just let it be, talk to everybody like if I've been friends with them for 20 years, and just
Sure.
keep moving. But yeah,
That's sometimes
Exodus
all you can do is keep moving forward.
yeah, dude. If you slow down, there's no point for it, especially when everybody is very grateful and everybody's very cool about it. So there's no point into just freezing up and just chit chatting, change the topic around here and there, and just crack a few jokes.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, it's a great product, though. I can't wait. It's
Thank you.
right from the moment I saw it. Yeah, there's just something about it. It's just got a lot of impact. That's what I think about it. And plus, zombies in heaven. I mean, come on.
Yeah, dude. No, it's gonna
Enough
be.
said.
It sells
It's
itself.
definitely gonna be crazy. It's definitely gonna, and it's gonna keep on getting crazier each time.
Yeah.
Each episode, each issue is just one upping the other. So by the time we finally reach issue 3, it's pure chaos, man.
Pure mayhem. All
Pure
right.
mayhem. It's organized mayhem because there's still a flow and there's still a direction that we're leading, but pure chaos.
Organized chaos is always the best.
Yeah.
Life is organized chaos. Oh man. So Rebecca, it is your turn. Why don't you tell the people all the good stuff? Give them the spiel. Go for it.
All right. So, hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on the show. And for George and Eddie, good luck with your Kickstarter.
Thank you.
So, I'm the founder of the Long Island TCG Show, which is basically like a trading card convention on Long Island, of course. I started this show in June of 2023. I did it because, I was going to like New Jersey for all these card shows and I wanted one on Long Island. So I was kind of confused as to why there wasn't one, around me.
Okay.
And nobody was doing it. So I decided to do it myself. We started very small, 60 tables in the Plainview Holiday Inn. And there was like 800 people that showed up. So we actually outgrew that venue just after the first show.
Wow.
And moved to the Hilton in Melville. We've been there since our first show there was October of 2023. And our last show at the Hilton was actually this 2 weekends ago, November 16th and 17th.
Yeah.
It was our first 2-day show. did pretty well, and we actually have outgrown that now, and we will next be at the Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah, this place was packed, folks. I'm talking about packed. It was
Yeah.
hard to get through there.
Wow. So you upgraded to the Nassau Coliseum. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's been definitely growing. I honestly originally wanted to just do a show with just vendor tables, and then kind of like very last minute at my first show, I was able to get Stuart Zagnit, the voice of Professor Oak, who is amazing. And because we got him, then I just started to continue to do that and get other voice actors as well. They've all been fantastic. Stuart
But
has
that fits your show though, because it's still part of the whole thing.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, they're all fantastic, but Stuart does have a special place in my heart because he was the first one. So, we're just continuing to get bigger and better and have a better experience for the attendees and the vendors. We also have like a little video game corner that Long Island Retro Gaming runs. So it's kind of nice to have like 20 setups of video games. You could just go hang out and play them. Panels with the voice actors. We had a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament this past November too. It was, it's just fun. It's a really good time.
Cool.
Dude, this place was stacked. It was packed. It was fun. It just had so much going for it. And of course, the guys from Hit Point were in there, and I had to go check them out. And they were debuting their game because the Kickstarter just finished recently, and they had the cards ready to go, and they were selling them for the first time. It was so much fun.
Thank you.
What an event. Well, Rebecca, when did you know, like during the first shows, as you kind of upgrading and getting bigger, when was like the first moment that you said, wait a minute, this is bigger than I thought it's going to be? When was that first moment? What was if you can remember?
So it was definitely the first show. Like I said, it started
right
small,
off the bat. Okay.
Yeah, right off the bat, because we were opening at 10 o'clock. And I remember there was just a line throughout the entire like hallway into the lobby. And it even started going into the hallway with rooms. And the people working at the hotel were like, no, you can't do that. Like they had to like redirect the line. So that's when I kind of noticed. I was like, oh, wow. Because, it was just something to do for fun for me. I wanted to bring this to the community because we needed it. And,
cool.
I'm just excited to keep having it grow. And like I said, to have the attendees and the vendors just have a better experience every time.
Did you hit capacity in your events?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
Did you hit capacity? Like, like sometimes they'll block off the door if there's too many people.
So no, because to be honest with you, to hit capacity, it's like super uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to like New York Comic Con, but like, even they're not at capacity and it's still so like unbearably crowded. So I don't even want that to happen. And I was nervous when we were at the Hilton because the fire marshal was on site. He comes on site just be like when he knows there's going to be a big event there. So I was really, really nervous. And that's one of the reasons why I needed to upgrade, because I don't want people to be so crammed. I know it's a good thing, but I do want, people to have a good experience.
Yeah. I was going to say, is it a good omen or a bad omen when the fire marshal shows up?
Bad omen.
Both.
I seen the fire marshal shut down shows, so.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've actually seen them shut down shows.
I don't want to deal with that, and I don't want people to have a bad experience, because if they have to leave, and they paid for this, it's not good. So.
Oh, definitely. I paid money. I had to be thrown out.
So I don't want that happening.
So what is your card? What is your card game that, Rebecca, you like? That's that's dear to you.
So I'm 100% into Pokemon.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not into any of the other ones.
Okay.
I do have a few Yu-Gi-Oh cards from when I was little, just because like my friends had it. But when I got them, I was kind of like, no, this is not for me. I don't play the Pokemon card game, but I'm a big, big, big collector.
Oh, cool. All right.
I'm with you, Rebecca. I've tried playing half these games, and what ended up happening was like I like the art.
Me too.
For the art, and that got expensive.
Yes. I know it's expensive, but like that's the thing. I love the art on it, and if you play with them, you're gonna ruin them. So I get them, put in my binder, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people like us that just collect them for that.
Yes, there are.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's what makes the trade show even better, because you have the people that play, you have the people that collect, you know, and I gotta say, one of the big things about your show was that because I've been to trade card shows before, and there's a bunch of other stuff happening that have nothing to do with trade cards.
Yeah.
And then you sit there going, okay, I thought this was a trade card show. I think I like the fact that you really like decided, okay, this is a trade card show. There are a couple other things there, but your main thing is the trade cards. You got vendors there actually selling the cards at the show.
Yup. As long as it has to do with something that is along the line. So, for example, in June we had a Super Smash Brothers tournament. However, you could only use a Pokemon character. That was
I like that.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Give us some limitations.
yeah, we try to stick to things that have to do with trading cards. So Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, even like, so I'm not sure if you saw, but we had Avatar: The Last Airbender voice actors there, the voice of Toph and the voice of Uncle Iroh.
Yeah.
And that's because Avatar does have a card game.
It does. Most
Quite
people
sure,
don't know, but most people don't know. And folks, you do your research.
Yeah. Yep. So that's my goal, and I do want to try to like venture out a little bit, you know, more, because a lot of people do, not a lot, but some people do complain, like, you know, there's only Pokemon here, and I get that. So I really am trying to have more like indie card games and more Yu-Gi-Oh and more Magic, but it's hard to find them.
Yeah, it is. The good thing is that you have a lot of indie guys coming up, you know, that are doing their own things with cards, like Hip Root. You know, it's a fantasy-based game, so you know you might be able to do some stuff with fantasy.
Yes, exactly, which is really cool. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, there's so many card games. You know, I think the whole thing is just to figure out what to cut, which ways to go, what to cover. You know.
Yeah.
Of course, here comes Mark Torres from It Came From the Radio, going, "Hey Rebecca, congrats on the show growing."
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Mark is the reason I was like, this show looks interesting, and then I saw his designated was one of the sponsors, and I'm like, okay. Like you got me, you got Hit Point, Mark Torres. I'm like, I gotta go check this out. And I appreciate you getting me in like at the last minute.
Oh my gosh, of course. Anytime you want to come, just let me know.
Oh, it was fantastic. As you can tell by my little video here, I had a blast. It was so much fun.
I'm so glad. That's awesome.
Dude, yeah, we did a lot of interviews, and it just covered everything. And I like the aspect of the video games as well, because you know I feel like it's all related.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, Rebecca, I mean, to put something like this together must have been just your organizational skills on itself. I mean, there's so many factors, so many facets, right? How do you keep this all together? That's what I want to know. Like, how do you keep this organized? And this is amazing.
Thank you. So I got two secrets. Okay. So one, I'm a teacher actually. So I think that my organizational skills are just kind of like built in.
Cool.
However, my second secret is my best friend, Mark, who couldn't join us today, but he is basically my right-hand man. And you know, he does a lot for me and a lot for the show. And, you know, if it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't be able to do this at this level.
Sure.
And folks, I can tell you that she works her butt off, because we tried to get an interview at the show with her, and she was like all over the place.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You couldn't pin her down. Yep.
No. And I was like, don't tell her to worry about it. We'll just get her on the live show.
Yeah, I'm always like running around. Actually, in June, Mark and I both didn't sleep the night before, like at all, like not even 1 minute, because we had to get things done. So. Yeah,
that's a lot of work, man. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, running these cons is not easy, because they're constantly going, "Ralph, you should do a bit AppleCon," and like, no, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
And I could imagine with all the different personalities, right? Everyone's got a different personality. You're dealing with different islands of people, You know, some people may feel as though they're entitled to things. Some people may feel right. So you're dealing with all of that while trying to, you're trying to maintain, some kind of, unity in this chaos. So that's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you so much.
But your hard work's paying off because look at you. You're heading Nassau Coliseum. That's
Exactly,
great.
man.
When will that be?
Nassau Coliseum, I was like, dang.
Yeah. Yes, my goodness.
I'm nervous about it, but it should be really good.
Nah, just keep doing what you've been doing. That's it. You got the recipe already,
Yeah, if you're doing what you're doing, I can see that people are gonna follow you already because they like what you're giving them, and I feel like with Nassau, it just means you have more to give.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too. In I'm sure you saw like at the show that people were kind of down the hallway in like conference room.
Yep.
And they were cheaper tables. However, I do want everybody to be in one spot because it's hard. Even if we have a sign, like we put it on our stories, we put it in our brochure, but people still don't see it.
Yeah.
And I definitely want everybody to be in one big area so that everybody gets the same experience.
That makes it easier too because you're all in one area. That means that you just go through the whole place and you find it. Even though people were going into the other areas because they did follow the signs, but I feel like this area got a little more traffic than that area did.
100%. Yep. Yeah, that's why some of the tables were different prices because it had to reflect that.
Well, that makes sense, because if you're out here, then you should be paying a certain amount. If you're in there, then you should be paying a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes total sense. I find it. I like the fact that you're fair because I've seen other conventions. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Where you are, you're all paying the same.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. Yeah, can't do that.
Now, I've never been to a card game show. Certainly been to Comic-Cons. What would you say, and anyone can answer this, what would you say is it a different feel when you go to a card game show as opposed to a Comic-Con? Is there any difference, or I don't know? What do you guys think?
To be honest with you, I go to so many different conventions. I feel like, so I've been to Collecticon, and I love Collecticon, and it's strictly like card game show. It's kind of like mine, but like way bigger.
Right.
I feel like the only difference between that and like actual Comic-Con is just like, I guess, the variety.
Okay.
Yeah, like I would say it's just the variety. So, Collecticon and like my show is mostly card vendors and maybe some artists that have to do with like Pokemon and things like that.
Right.
Whereas Comic-Con, you have so much variety where it's, obviously comic books. You do have some card vendors. You got artists. Mm-hmm. Like I just think it's just so much. Yeah, like so much more variety. That's what I would say the difference is. I don't know if anybody else wants to put their 2 cents into that.
I haven't really done a card show for obvious reasons because it's comic book. But, I've done majority of them are just been general cons, and then I did do one down here in Florida called it was a toy con, and the toy con, it was basically retro toys combined with new in box stuff, and I think that took like 50% of what the main area was. I was like hiding in the back corner right there with not a single toy on me, and I'm thinking like, man, this is gonna be a tough sell. And no, people were still pretty cool with it for the most part. That was a Pompano Beach Toy Con down here in South Florida, and I think usually when you go to a convention that is more specific and they're open to not just that medium or that type of whether or not it's toys or cards or comics or what horror. I've done a horror one as well. There's still always that amalgamation. There's that combination of a little bit of everything in it. Yeah. But if we go to something specific, I would probably say like that's easily more than 50% of the vendors. That's how I think it should be. At least more than half of them should be specifically for that stuff. And then you have me like a little straggler in the corner between somebody selling 1980s He-Man toys and then like somebody selling the new NECA gargoyle toys. I'm just there in the middle, like, what the fuck?
Right. Right.
But you see that all the time. You always find somebody on the show, and I think that's good for variation. I think my issue is when the show is about something like it's Comic-Con, and you barely see anybody selling comics.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is
Mhm.
Comic-Con.
Right.
And then they got all the voice actors, they got all these actors, they got all these people from TV shows, from movies, from then you got a bunch of other stuff, and you're like, where the hell are the comics? This is a pop
Right.
culture show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Like, I did one in the Fort Myers area, and it was Comic Fest, right? And I kept on getting all the literature about it as a vendor saying this is specifically only for comic books, specifically only for comic books. And I believe the vendor in front of me was selling 3D printed stuff.
Okay.
I looked at it and I'm like, okay. I left the hats behind. I left the shirts behind. And I was just like, I'm only gonna bring the books, thinking it's gonna be enforced and whatnot.
Yeah.
But not that I care. That vendor was super cool, super chill.
Wow, but it's the whole concept of you could have brought your stuff too.
It is what it is. But yeah, I think if somebody specifies, oh, this should be strictly a TCG con, and then somebody whips out, like I said, a 3D printer, a small little one, and then they just have a tray full of 3D stuff, I'd be looking at them. I'm like, okay, I guess it's, especially like if they put something that's themed related to it, but it all depends on whether or not it's something that they're trying to enforce or they're just trying to get it within the theme.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to, like we said, it's hard to run shows. A show, I don't envy any showrunner. I think it's one of the hardest jobs, because you get all the gripes, you get all the, there's just a lot of stuff that you got to deal with. That's why anytime that I'm at whatever show I'm at, if the showrunner can't talk to me, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Because they're busy running around taking care of things, and there's always something happening. Or if you have talent at the show, there's times where you got to make sure that talent's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine, Rebecca, you probably feel like a wedding planner sometimes. You're like a wedding planner, all these things set up in place. That might be a second job after this.
It's really funny because I'm my sister actually texted me today because she's pregnant, and
all right, congrats.
Thank you. Having a niece. She already has one kid, so I have a nephew already, but now I'm gonna have a niece. So
nice.
Very excited. But she texted me today, and she wants me to throw her a shower. And I literally thought in my head, I'm like, well, I guess I'm an event planner now anyway. So.
Right. I was just gonna say, yeah, you are.
You use the same skills, That's how you make it pay for you, I'm like, well, I'm doing this now. Let me pay for the dream.
Exactly. So I thought it was funny. I was like, all right, yeah, no problem.
Real cool. Well, one of the reasons I asked about the Comic-Cons and the card thing is because I guess when you're going to a Comic-Con, you expect to see the artwork, see the comics, and buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go to a card show, do you expect to play the games? Like, I would wonder if that should be part. I'm coming here not only to see the new cards and stuff, but also to see it in action, see how the game goes. Do you find that a lot, Rebecca, that people are expecting to see how these games look in real time?
So not really, because out of all the trading card games, Pokemon is obviously the biggest one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people are in Pokemon for the money. So it's kind of like investing. So
resellers?
Yeah, or people who are just buying it to hold on to it for a while and see like what happens to it. Which is that's great. But I said unfortunately because sometimes the interest isn't genuine and it gets lost.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And for me, like somebody who's like loved Pokemon since 1998. I say 1998 because that's when I got into it. It's just disappointing sometimes to see that there's only an interest in money with it. So
as opposed to the game and
I like the fact that you have the games playing there, and then if you wanted to jump in on a game, you can jump in on a game. I really did enjoy that, and I want to see that at trade card game shows. I want to be able to, especially if we're moving the game forward, if the future of this game is in the people that you can catch and have play the game, then you're helping out. You're helping that out, because now you're getting these other people to come in and go, ooh, I like this.
Yep.
Good point, Ralph. Yep.
No, definitely. Yeah. So a lot, I like when the kids are interested in it, because it's like a genuine interest. Like they want to play the game. You know what I mean? So I love that.
I can only assume that occurred with what's the Disney one? Lorcana?
Yeah. Beautiful cards. Oh. I don't know what the hell is going on in that game, but beautiful.
Yeah, I've seen the art on those, and that's like a movie poster quality.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, that Stitch is so freaking cool, and like I'd love to get that just as a poster.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are nice cards. The Disney 100 ones are really nice too.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ralph, I see you have the marketplace poster up, so I can tell you guys a little bit about that, like the differences. So the show that you went to was our big show. Like that's like Long Island TCG Show. That's it. However, the monthly marketplace is a little bit different. So we don't have any voice actors. We don't have any panels. No video games, nothing like that. The Long Island TCG Show, the one you went to, is kind of like a convention. Whereas the monthly marketplace, the next one is December 28th. That's just 100 vendor tables in the grand ballroom, and that's it. So it's, it's much, much smaller. And the goal of that is really to have people come, buy, sell, trade, and head home. Whereas the convention is like a full day experience. I think you're muted.
I am. I was telling my daughter something.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. I thought you were sorry about that.
No, I like the idea. Again, it's one of those things that doesn't happen often. You don't get these shows like you're planning to do, where they're coming in on a schedule or something. Because most people just wait for that year to do that big show.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, somebody's here going, sure excited for Exodus Z.
Nice.
I like the fact that you keep moving everything forward, that you're actually thinking about what to do next. Because NASA Coliseum is not like a small jump.
No, it's not.
That's and when is that one? The NASA Coliseum one?
May 3rd.
I can put that up too. Hold on, I'll put it right up.
Okay, so May.
Right here. Here we go.
So for a show in May, you're already starting to work on it now, right, Rebecca?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We were starting to work on
they have a trading card game? Because that'd be perfectly fitting right with that one. With May the 4th.
What'd you say?
The Star Wars have a trading card game. Because that
That'd
would
be perfect for May the 4th, yeah.
Oh, good one, George. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
They actually do have cards. They're not like very popular, and I'm not sure if it's a game or if it's just collecting cards. I'm pretty sure it's just collecting cards.
Okay.
But you might want to think about it, because May the 4th.
Yeah, that's definitely something with that community.
And May the 3rd is Free Comic Book Day, if I remember right.
Right. I think you're right.
Yeah. Yes, folks, we're geeks. What do you want?
So these are all kind of card games, Rebecca? Like if I went there and like wanted to get a deck of Uno cards, would I be like kicked out and like shunned from the show? Or like what's the genre of like card games?
Okay.
It's so again like mostly Pokemon, and then there's Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
That's a big one where people play, like they really are playing.
Okay.
And then you have Lorcana, which I think
yeah, that's the big one. Yeah, I could imagine it's getting big now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it like was big when it came out. People
right.
About it, but I feel like it didn't. I don't know, perform the way people expected. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's complicated. Magic the Gathering is a complicated game. I tried playing it when it first came out, and I ended up just collecting the cards because they were beautiful. Because I sit there and I look at the game and I'm like, I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
But it's still there. It has a rabid following. They're still making beautiful new cards. They just finished doing a bunch of collabs with like D&D and other things where you got these special cards for those things. And I think that's how they're trying to revitalize the whole thing.
Yeah. They did a
I
Lord of the
saw
Rings.
advertisement on those crossovers. I think those like Doctor Who, Magic the Gathering cards, and I was like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
"What is this?"
Yeah.
Wasn't there a controversy though? I think recently with Magic, right? They rescinded or whatever you want to call it. They took back 8 of the cards that were out there. So there was 8 cards, and they actually took them back. I guess they thought they were maybe too powerful or something. And I remember
Well,
hearing that
it's
there was
more like they nerfed certain things.
Okay.
Right.
They don't
And,
make,
it's not like they
anymore?
took them back. It's more like they nerfed it, and now they don't work the way they're supposed to work, or they can't be used in the game
Right.
on a professional level.
The setting, right, correct, right. So I knew there was some controversy to that, yeah.
Like half of the original Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
Like you can't even use you can't well, I don't think you can use them anymore at this point.
See, it's easier for like go ahead, George, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say even with Pokemon, because there was a while that I was into Pokemon, and then at some point or another they had these weird I love the weird cards. So they had these weird decks where, let's say I have a water Pokemon deck, but they're all electric for some weird reason. So I had like an electric for alligator, and then I started using that in like a local tournament. This was years ago, and they immediately just told me like, no, you can't use that. That's not tournament legal. I'm like, it literally just came out. I'm like, nope,
right,
use that.
Yeah, there's the rules and things for most cards. Mark Torres says, so when are you going to start giving out your own convention trading cards? And what would be your stats? I like that question.
Is that for me?
Yep.
So I'm probably not going to get into that in terms of like, however, we do have promo cards. One of our local artists, his company name is Butterflies in Space, and he actually made his own trading card game too. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's one of those little things we just showed on the while you were talking. Yeah,
it was on there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually does. He like draws or like with like paint markers on an actual card, and then makes prints of them, and he limits them to however many he makes, and he sells them at the show as a promo card. So we do have that. Yeah.
I think your stat would be, Rebecca, would be organizational skills plus 10, or whatever the higher number is. That is amazing. That is amazing. I'm sorry, Ralph. You saying?
Oh no. Just on a side note, because I want to show off Wham Stand, because he is just amazing. Look at this beautiful thing.
Wow.
Yeah, Matt's such a super cool dude. I've spoken to him even before I started doing mine, because I know a couple creators from lesser known comics, and he's always involved in those. And then he just has, I think when he does conventions, he just has this huge wall behind him that's magnetic, and he has easily hundreds of his little, he calls them whamblems. So it's the little emblems that go on the Wham stands, those. So like the one that says Comic Capsule variant, those. And he just had this huge wall. And I'm over here in Florida, and then somebody, one of my backers, funny enough, saw him at a convention, and then with this huge wall that he has, you could just see like a tiny little Exit a Z Wham stand, Whamblem in the corner. Look what I found! And it was so super cool. He has hundreds. Yeah, I'm maybe even
amazing.
Yeah, cool. They're super cool, super high quality. I highly recommend it. And it's just so cool to, once you have it with your own book, like one that would say End of Zed right in front of it.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. No,
I want to pick one.
Dude, I want one of these, and I'm like,
the spinner rack looks so dope.
Look at that. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that blackboard in the previous one, that blackboard he takes it with him, and that blackboard is huge.
Oh, the big one back there, yeah.
Filled with them. Yep.
Dude, it's just beautiful. I'm working with him so we can get a Bitten Apple mic for the conventions.
Oh yeah, he does his custom mic.
Yeah. He does the custom mics too. It's just like he does a lot of great work, folks, and
I think he even does
he's inexpensive
for cards as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for slabs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's so cool. I'm actually going to definitely look at those later. I want some.
Folks, go check out Wham Stand. He is amazing. He dude, we were at New York Comic Con, and he goes, "Oh, maybe 2 or 3 people have my stuff." and I'm going through the convention, and it wasn't 2 or 3 people. It was a whole freaking lot of people that had his freaking wham stands all over the place.
Yeah. It's so cool. If I knew we were going to talk about him, I have them in the garage. It would take me forever just to get them out. I would have had one prepared.
You'll definitely be back on the show at one point or another, so you can show it off.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, in 2025 for me, we have like 4 or 5 different books that are coming out, especially that came off of yeah, man, you need to grab the wham stand. But we did a Phantasmagoria, which is the first time I came in here, which is an anthology, and some of those short stories are actually going to be full issues. Like the one that's right above my shoulder right there is Gaia Succession. That's going to be one of them, and I'm going to speak to Matt about that one, and the one right under.
Mm-hmm. Hold on,
that one right there, that one's called Angie Gogo, and those are going to be. Oh, there we go. So you got Gaia Succession and Angie Gogo, and they're both going to be Q1 January campaigns. One in the beginning of January, one at the ending of January, maybe beginning of February. And those were short stories from different creators that wanted to be part of my anthology, which is a horror anthology, just pure indie creators. And they developed enough of the story to be able to do full issues. So they're going to use they wanted to be under the umbrella of Comic Unknown because that's where they introduced the characters. And definitely we're going to have to talk to Matt about it because we definitely want each one of those logos to have their own wamblums. Oh, look at that right there. That's such a cool picture. I did that by accident. That's such a cool picture, and I did that by accident. When I saw those lines, and I was just like, I think that was a thumbprint. And then I was messing around, and then all of a sudden, it just did that cool. It cut off.
Dude, I was looking at your Kickstarter. I was like, I saw this already. And then I'm looking at while you're talking. I'm over here on the Instagram, going, there it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I know I'm jumping back and forth, but Matt.
Oh, don't worry. That's what we do on the show.
And Fantastic Four, we literally just funded that. I can't remember how many months ago I was on your show. I think that was like 3 or 4 months ago. That it took a minute to get them printed because they were trade bound. So they're thick books. They're like 90 pages, and we're planning on doing one for next year. For each year, introduce new short stories, and a lot of times it's from smaller creators that they have an idea, they want to help develop it, and they'll ask around trying to figure things out. I'm an open book when it comes to that, and we just get like the first one we got 9 different stories. And we're going to see how many stories we're going to have for issue 2, which I saw C.O. Zeno is probably still in here. He did a story which is a frog turned vampire.
Wow, that's cool.
It's this one right here. So you can see it. It also had a short story of Exodus Z, which is that one right on top. There's a lot of stuff that it reaches all the way to the bottom, so you can't see it all. But
it's a good project because it's really difficult to get your book going. As Eddie has learned now.
Oh yeah, you say that again. But in that case, all 4 of them put them into your Phantasmagoria book, right? And they are just independent writers, but on one.
Yeah, it was 9 stories. I always have to look at it because I lose track of the stories.
Right, I hear you, George.
Stories. So from top to bottom, the first one's Exodus Z, Zombie Fubar, which is a tie-in to issue 1 of Exodus Z. You got Gaia Succession, The Tales of Goop, Angie Gogo. This one's cool. This one's called It Remembers by John Westhoff. I know Ralph is pretty cool with him.
John's been on the show a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've seen those little streams when he gets on. Oculus Diavoli is you could barely see it right there. That one's by the colorist Edgar Wolf that does the coloring for Exodus Z. There's 3 more down there, but at that point, I'm literally pointing at the floor. Bob Garonelis, super cool dude. He did this black and white with red tones.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. That's in the background, the red in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have, man, I'm literally like just I'm pushing the limit. Juan Navarro, Sexually Transmitted Demons. So that's a little crazy one. I think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it's Sexually Transmitted Demons. And, and the last one is called Orion's Cube, which is Magnificent, which he does cover D for issue 2. So it's been a very crazy project, that one that we already completed. And there was a lot of networking that was involved to the point that 2, 3, every single one of my, well, almost every 3 of the 4 covers for issue 2 of Exit of Z are from creators from Phantasmagoria. So that was pretty cool. It was a great networking experience, and it was if this project itself, the handling, it's nothing in comparison to what like Rebecca has to do with those conventions. Like I'd be
I
freaking
was
out.
thinking the same thing, actually.
Yeah, like there's no comparison whatsoever. But like that was just trying to keep 9 teams together and trying to organize all that, and that's just 9 teams, and it's not a one-day thing where everybody's coming in at the same time. So I can't imagine running a show. That's
Yeah.
for
That's
me.
why I need to.
Oh,
Well, that's what I need to know from you two. What is your top organizational software you use? Because you guys got some secrets out there. Like
Good question.
Rebecca, you probably use Trello or something. Or George, what do you use? We need to know. Me and George need to get more organized. That's a
organizational
New Year's resolution for
software.
next year, right, Ralph?
Get organized?
You get more
I don't know what that
organized.
means.
Like Excel, Microsoft Word.
Word. Okay, there you go.
I don't have
I think I
any-
got that.
Dude, I literally just like I think I use Notepad, and I sound you could tell I'm not Gen Z or anything like that because I go old school. Like
I hear you. Maybe
I don't-
paper and book.
there's no
Paper and
hey,
books.
look, I just got no backer.
Okay, look at
Sorry,
this.
I just got a pop up that said it.
So Ezekiel here has a question for each one of you. Let's see.
Okay, hold on.
Thanksgiving is definitely a great time to geek out. Exodus Z looks like an action-packed adventure, blending intense storytelling with striking visuals. I'm curious, what inspired the post-apocalyptic themes, and how do the character struggles reflect the overarching narrative? Great question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll answer that real quick. Okay, the story, I always bring it up in each time. I always try to bring it up, the origin, because the origin of Exodus Z was so ridiculous. I really like zombie shows and zombie movies for the most part, and I was watching the Korean show All of Us Are Dead, which is the high schoolers.
Yeah, I heard about that.
The
Yeah.
apocalypse. And
Yeah.
at some point or another, I see a girl. What I thought she was praying. She was probably begging or something like
Right.
that. And then I crack a joke to my wife, and I tell her, "Wouldn't it be funny? This is my humor. Wouldn't it be funny? Yeah, they get wiped out, they get killed. She opens her eyes again. She's in heaven and all that stuff. And right when she gets all happy, there's another zombie apocalypse going on in heaven. And
Wow,
my wife
that's
just stared
messed
at me. My wife just stared at me, and she goes, and I'm like, "Are you okay?"
Because that's messed up.
Wow.
Yes. But you know what? I had that idea just lingering in my head, and I thought to myself, I'm like, man, for the most part, it's 2024. I'm pretty sure that exists somewhere. I could probably find it, and then I could read that story. And I
Right.
started looking.
Couldn't find it, George. Couldn't find
Of
it.
a zombified angel. That I'll find. I find a whole bunch of them for some weird reason.
I guess people like
And,
that.
it just, I couldn't find the story. So I was just like, maybe I have something here. This was a couple years back. So I started developing it to the point that I had issue 1 already written out. I asked a buddy of mine if he knew any, because I was not in the field of creating comics. I'll read them. I used to review them back in the day, but creating, nope. But then I bumped into John Apple, my line art and inker, and we just hit it off. I don't like micromanaging for the most part, so I gave him my script. I told him, just make sure you're within this realm. Try to make sure that everything's done exactly not exactly, but the direction that we're going for. And then he would put his 2 cents in, and he would say, look, what if we do this instead of that? Or like flip a panel around, or combine 2 panels or separate. And then he would just add these Easter eggs. And he started doing that almost immediately in issue 1. And when he started adding these Easter eggs, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is going to be a fun story, because we're just going to be cracking so many jokes. And it's more of a Where's Waldo of
Right.
One's Pure Worlds. There's this one part of issue 1 where it's like the snake road going to Heaven's Gate. and you just see the amount of crazy characters that are in there, and it's just like, okay, can you figure out who's who at that point?
Right.
But going back to the question, I like a lot of zombie movies, a lot of zombie shows. So, and it was me making a stupid joke to my wife where it paid off, I guess.
It did pay off.
Second part of the question, let me.
Oh, no, the next question is for End of Zed.
Okay.
Also, with End of Zed wrapping up its campaign, I'd love to hear about what's next for the story's journey.
Oh, excellent. Well, I guess it depends. If we didn't make 2,000 rounds, it's over. I'm done. I quit. I quit the comic game. So someone give me the numbers. Did it happen, George? Did
All right,
we hit
let's
2,000
see.
or no? Or is it 19? I think 80.
I think it's 1981.
All right. Okay.
1981.
All right. I'll stay in the game anyway. Thanks, George. That's okay. I'll stay in the game. Oh, you know what's interesting? It'd be great if it was
Look,
19...
fireworks.
Oh, I even get fire. I get confetti. Look at that. Yeah.
Well, I was your final backer, so I guess I'm backing up your
is
second
there.
Thanks,
It's
George.
ready to go.
Appreciate it, man.
Done, folks.
You know what would have been cool if it landed, if it was 1982, because that's when
That'd
he
be
landed
crazy.
in the South
That'd be
Bronx.
perfect, yeah.
Someone could have gave me a buck. No, but to answer the question in all seriousness, no, the first and foremost, the mission is to get this to the backers. I mean, it's been such a journey. I've been working on this. This is actually a movie script I wrote, and so I've been working on this literally for 2.5 years. So, and I always envision putting it on Kickstarter and getting the first group of users that are going to buy it. So, my mission, of course, is to get it into the people's hands, my backers, and sooner than later. You know, I know I told them in February, but I would love to shoot it and get it to their hands in January. It's already, everything's already written, so I'm gonna start working with the artists again, start at the beginning of the year. It's gonna be a quicker turnaround time because I did a lot of things that I could do a lot better this time in terms of saving time.
Well, yeah,
So, yeah.
Now you're used to it. Now you know exactly what you need to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly, Rob. Exactly. And of course with the backers are great, you know, and the support of everyone in the whole community is really kind of really inspiring me to take out the second one. So I'm really looking forward to it. Great question. Thanks, Ezekiel.
I'm sorry, before I forget, Eddie, did you activate the late backer feature?
No, I had to keep it simple. Yeah, no, I know I should have joined, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, in retrospect, I think it was a good idea.
Still hit 2K, but
Yeah.
if you didn't activate it,
someone could have given me $1 for 82, George. Yeah,
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
that didn't work. That didn't happen in issue 1 or in Phantasmagoria. I think it came out right. The late backer stuff came out like a week before Phantasmagoria went live, and I couldn't figure it out. So I was just like, forget it. I'll deal with it in the next one.
Right.
And then I have it activated this direction. I have it activated to mirror the image for me. I have it activated in Exit of Z. So once we do funds, hopefully it'll continue going.
Yep.
And the last question is, how does LITCG Show support and spotlight such creative endeavors?
So I'm assuming that means like creative endeavors like George and Eddie are doing, right?
Yeah.
Like creating own comic book and stuff. So, I mean, for the LITCG show, not really comics, but definitely art. We have a lot of artists and we love artists.
Yes,
For the May show, we're actually going to do like some sort of artist alley. So we'll have signs and we'll put the artists in like one section so that people know that that's where the artists are. Shout out to Cryptic Kitty because she's, you know, the one who gave me that suggestion. She was at the last show and afterwards she messaged me and said, you know, it'd be helpful for the artists, which helps me because I'm not an artist. So I actually thought it would have been better to have the artists like kind of scattered, like with all the other people, like with all the other vendors. But, you know, she said that it actually helps to have all the artists together. So I think that was great. And we have the indie, you know, TCG people there too. And we're trying to look for more. We actually made a post the other day, like saying that we want more indie trading card game, you know, creators. And then this is kind of a spinoff of LITCG show, but actually in November of next year, my friend and I are actually going to do more of a pop culture convention just because it's more broad. So we will be able to have, you know, people who are making their own comic books and have them at the show.
Cool.
Because all that stuff crosses over to each other. I think, like I said earlier, I think that's all still important. The whole thing is just to make sure you keep the heart of your show be that you have the trade show going, and I know you'll do that because again you'll have shows like it's Comic-Con and you're like, where's the comics?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a trade card show. Where are the trade cards?
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Ralph. I mean, especially when you think about Rebecca's audience, right? The fact that you're moving, you're getting bigger. Your audience, there's something about what you're doing that's resonating with people. And I think a lot of that's because, yes, this isn't a Comic-Con show. This isn't me to see the next star of, General Hospital. This is a This is a card show. And so I think that's your recipe. You just got to keep that going. It's just amazing. And I didn't get to get your organizational. I didn't get to get your organizational software you use, by the way. That's the one I'm still waiting for.
So, I mean, that's like I said, my best friend Mark, like he actually forced me to use Trello. I have even downloaded it on my phone.
Okay, there you go. Okay, perfect.
However, I think that it helps because it's only like him. Like I really only work with him. So I think that if you have a bigger team, like I know that you guys are talking about how, there's like an inker for your, your book.
Yeah.
And,
Colorist.
There's a lot of other things where maybe Trello would be best. I have looked at it because again, he like forces it on me. So I have looked at it, and I think that if I had a bigger team, I would definitely use that.
You would have to,
yeah.
Gotcha.
But I think, like I said, like it helps that I'm a teacher and stuff because I do just have that organizational, piece.
Yeah, because you have to be organized as a teacher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what with kids.
Yeah, of course. Good one, Ralph. And that's why George.
I know how it gets with kids.
I do high school though, so it's much easier than elementary.
Oh, okay.
You say that, but teenagers.
And that's what I was going to say, George. I don't think you should sell yourself short. I mean, they put all those stories together with all those different artists too. That involves not just one person. You're dealing.
Yeah,
with
I'm
so
trying to
many
do
people,
one comic. And
correct.
It's difficult.
Correct.
Yeah.
I barely got through this one.
For the most part, I'm an open book when it comes to it. If you guys ever have a question, don't even hesitate. Worst case scenario, I probably just didn't answer at that moment.
Well, Joe's comic channel says zombies in heaven, can they infect the angels?
They can. Dot.
Dun, dun.
There's a direction, and in that direction, we might touch that topic. And
cool.
For the most part, like I said, man, Joe's messing with me because I know Joe is the co-creator of Guy's Succession. I saw the picture, so I know he's messing with me. He knows the damn book. He knows.
Okay. He's trying to get you to slip, George.
Oh, he's right, dude. That's what you do. You try to get people to slip. Ultra, nice meeting you too.
I have no issue with that because you could see the passion when it comes to it. When you start geeking out on your own stuff, and it gets insane. But yes, for the most part, it does. Yes, it does occur at some point or another. Well, I can't. Whatever.
Right,
I'll talk to Joe later.
24 months. So Jorge, you can continue, but make sure you add where they can find you and all the good stuff because people need to know where to go.
I'm a little bit everywhere now. I'm most active on Instagram, The Comic Unknown. Facebook is Comic Unknown. I originally started with Facebook and then I jumped over to Instagram. This was ages ago. And then for some weird reason, somebody already took Comic Unknown. And I was like, damn it. Then I went on Twitter. Comic Unknown was also taken. I'm like, damn it. So I just started sticking with The Comic Unknown except for Facebook. Everywhere else, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, Blue Sky, and Facebook. I already said Facebook. I don't know what else there is.
Instagram.
Honestly, we have a website, comicunknown.com, and if you guys were to ever miss anything when it comes to a campaign, you guys go there instead. And I tend to throw out coupons. Like right now for Black Friday, I think I put anything that's in stock 30% off. It's basically what I have in the garage, and it just makes space for when this campaign is printed because those books take up space, honestly. And my office space is what you see right now, and that closet that's back there, which is this tiny thing, is what it is. It's like a foot by 3 feet, and then just the height of it, and then that's where I just cram everything for the most part.
I see that Nat has joined us live from the subway.
Yo, live from the streets of Bowery where the rats are active tonight. I'm not joking.
What's the temperature over there?
Right now we're sitting at like 43 degrees. Nice, comfy.
It's so funny because you tell that to somebody from here, from South Florida, you're like 40 degrees, you're killing me.
No, nice. 43. It's nice and comfy.
And then I tell them my average day is at 93 degrees, and they ask me, how are you not melting?
Wow,
93 ain't that hot. I'm gonna be real.
No, it's not. It's not. The most, I think the hottest we've experienced this year was like 102, 103. But if you have an AC, so you just stay home, you don't mess around, and the humidity just kills us for the most part.
So Rebecca, why don't you tell the people where they can find you, so we make sure to hit the spots and they can go looking for you.
Okay. So on Instagram, it's li.tcg.show. We have a website too, it's just litcgshow.com. And that's it. I'm on Facebook too, but it's really, Instagram is really where we're active.
Yeah, it's always the important parts to find where can they actually talk to you. So yeah. And like I say, you're very responsive on Instagram. So
oh, thank you. I try.
Yeah, folks, you guys want to go to the show. I'm telling you, if you like cards, if you just like going to cons, you should go to the show. And you got the show on December 28th, which is the smaller show, right?
Yep, the monthly marketplace. So it's really just vendor tables with cards. You could come buy, sell, trade. There'd be some artists there too, but no actors or panels.
Yeah, not muted himself.
That's okay.
And you got the other show in May 3rd and 4th.
Yep, that's the big one.
There you have it, folks. You need to go check this out. And if not, we're going to bring it to you. But I'm going to be the whole time going, you should be here. All right, Eddie, you tell the people all the good stuff. Go for it.
Well, I didn't make the 2000, Ralph, so it didn't happen. So that means I'll be at the bar having my first drink. And did George and Rebecca set up what my first drink's going to be? What is it going to be? Tell me, George, and then Rebecca. Give me that recommendation.
The champagne, no?
Champagne, okay, one.
Champagne.
Hey, what about you, Rebecca? What, champagne too?
I say keep it simple. Drink a Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Yeah, keep it simple with a beer.
Yeah, Bud Light would be simple. Yeah.
Love it. But yes, in all seriousness, probably now, since I was directing everyone to the Kickstarters, just continue going into my Instagram page, End of Zed on Instagram. I also have my graffiti site still on Instagram, ZNK238. But I think my website's going to take a really big, I'm going to really revamp my website to kind of really go into the second episode and the back, the second issue, and the backstory behind it. So
I'm telling you, it's a show. It's a cartoon show. It's not a comic book.
No, definitely is a cartoon show.
Yes.
It's a show.
Also, if you fix the website, you can actually sell the book on the website. So.
That's true too. So we're looking into that. We're looking into that. Yeah, but this is a two-pronged thing. Kickstarter was one, maybe Indiegogo, but the second one was we're kind of tying in with other people. Like, we're pitching this idea to other people who may want to appreciate the story more, in a sense, may want to take the story to another level. One of them is the Bronx has the hip hop museum that's coming out in 2025. So we're going to pitch the idea to them.
Collab there, yeah.
Correct, because the story is pure hip hop, and I think they would dig it. And so we actually have meetings set up for the end of December for it. So we'll see where that goes. So there's a lot of exciting things that are coming up with people that we're meeting. So it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be 2025 is going to be a great year.
All right, that looks like that's a beautiful show, Mr. Nat. I see you're in the train now.
They're inspecting it.
So are we forgetting anything?
There's a bunch of Kickstarters that are going on. Since unfortunately I am not at home, I don't have the full list. However, I do know that our usual suspects of Pat Shan, Kakao Mia, and a couple other people do have Kickstarters going on. You can also sign up to be notified for our good friend Mata Sorcier's Kickstarter, and my train is finally moving, so I'm probably going to disconnect momentarily.
Nice hearing from you, Nat, live from New York streets or subway. Yes, Mata Sorcier has a new art book coming out, and she's going to be on Monday all here to talk about it and show it off. Go sign up to get notified. Look up Mata Sorcier, and you'll find her beautiful project. I can probably look for it while we're doing stuff, but I feel like we're going to be done with the show in a couple minutes. Of course, don't forget, if you want to get my first printed work, join me at We Suck at Comics, because we do. We suck at comics, and we need your help to make the comics happen. So go check out We Suck at Comics, and you will find a project by yours truly. Right now, they are at the sign up to get notified page. So go sign up to get notified and help them get to 100 before this project starts, because it puts you in a better place in the algorithm if you can get to a good point with followers beforehand. And of course, there is a special Shadow Rabbit art piece going on with my beautiful story. So go check it out.
Cool. Looking forward to that.
Folks, I think that is everything. Jorge, Rebecca, Eddie, it's been a pleasure having you guys on. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
You know, I'll be swinging by again. I got one of these to swing by again. That's not an issue. You tell me the date and the time, and I'll make the space.
There you have it, folks. And on this show, I press the button, and where it stops,